Hi and welcome back to Alistair Davies Golf. Today's video is all about ball position and how that affects our impact. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a test, and this is a question I've been asked by one of my viewers about ball position. I'm going to do a test using Trackman. I'm going to test standard ball position with a 7-iron, ball forward and ball back, and see how that affects my particular data. So we have the standard, the ball forward and ball back, and see how it changes my swing path, see how it changes the direction of the shots, see what other things come up from it as well. You see how I feel doing it, do I feel more comfortable with one or the other, and so on. So let's get stuck in. So the first thing I'm doing, again, to keep me honest, I've got a little rig down here. The first thing I'm going to do is going to hit a standard shot. Standard 7-iron, my ball position will be centered. Again, I play the European variable ball position. If you have the ball position fixed in one spot, left armpit, you'll have a narrower stance. So again, with a narrower stance, it is still roughly in the center of your stance. But we want it in the center of the stance, ideally for me, with a 7-iron. So I'm getting the back of this ball to the back of this stick here, and I'm going to go ahead and hit a normal shot. And we've got Trackman going off in the background here. Okay, let's get the data from that one. So on that one, I'm mostly going to talk to you about path and face here. My path was 0.1, pretty straight. My face angle was 0. So again, those two numbers I can't really get too much better at, to be honest for you. I hit down on the ball quite a bit more than I would do normally, 7 degrees down. The launch angle was 24, the overall height was 107, and the ball went left 12 feet. So it went a little bit more left compared to what it should do with that facing path. It probably shows you that the strike was a little bit from the toe side, just create a little bit of that spin axe tilt. But 153 yards in kind of carry distance. Let's try the ball forward. So now I'm going to move the ball probably about 6-7 inches forward. It's kind of nearer my left heel here. Try and keep my setup to be in the same position as it was, so my shoulders don't change, because if I go forward and my shoulders change, obviously this is making things be influenced. So definitely pulled that one a little bit more left. Let's get the data up from that one. So it launched a tad lower, which is interesting with the ball forward. I probably turned onto it more, something subconscious. The overall height was a little bit lower. It was 90 feet versus 107 feet. The path was massively left. It was 7 degrees out to in, so cutting across the golf ball. The face angle was 6 degrees left. So again, both are fairly matched, but everything moved more left, meaning that I'm going to hit that pull shot, which I did. The only thing that's probably strange about it, obviously the distance was down a little bit, so the contact again wasn't as good. The ball went further left total, 32 feet left. And basically, you know, the height was lower. That's the thing that's slightly different. You know, when the ball goes forward, normally you'd expect to see the ball go higher. But because the ball's forward and I've turned onto it, that's probably what's kept that one down. That's my subconsciousness changing. It's not necessarily something that will happen with every single golfer, but it's what happened to me was the path went more left, the ball went more left. That's important to note, and that happens with most golfers I'd see. So next thing I'm going to see would be the ball move further back in stance. Again, I'm trying to go about the same amount. I'm going to have to put the club back here this time, because I won't be able to go over the ball unless I hover, which will make things a bit more uncomfortable. So again, it's back just inside the right foot here. Try and keep my shoulders as square as I can. Again, not a perfect strike, slightly thinned. That one was definitely more of a push shot. So that one there, the path again was to the right. So 2 degrees to the right that time, the face 2.5 degrees to the right. So again, swing, if I try and swing it straight, I'm pretty matched face and path. If I swing it left by having the ball forward, face are pretty matched. I swing it right, having the ball further back, the face and path are pretty matched also. The carry distance again was down. The best strike was in the center, which probably you'd expect. That's where I'm used to it being. The angle of attack was the steepest in the center, which is a bit unusual. The The angle of attack in the other two shots was pretty similar. It shows that I adapt a bit, which is, again, I'm slightly different in that way. And my launch angle was the lowest with the ball back, which is what we'd expect to see. I'd expect to see that. So the only thing else I want to cover with this video is that essentially what we're seeing here is obviously the ball center. For me, I get my straightest direction of swing. If I move the ball back, I swing to the right, which is what I'd expect. If I put the ball forward, I swing to the left, which is what I'd expect. The other thing I'd want to talk about briefly would be ball location. So how far do I stand away from the golf ball? Now it's important, if I'm stood too far away from the ball, I'm likely to hit it in the toe. If I'm stood too close, I'm likely to hit it in the heel. So if I try and get a semblance of bow and bend from my hips, let my arms settle, then flex my knees a little bit, that's roughly the distance away from the ball I want to be. And I want to be about a handspan from my thigh. The reason I'm covering this is obviously the question came in from my channel about ball position. I just want to make sure it's not ball location. So ball position for me, 7, 8, 9 sand iron would be in the center. Okay, European kind of way of playing. And then every club would move slightly further forward towards the left foot till we get to driver, which would be left heel. The stance width would be the same, apart from driver I'd go a little bit wider. Possibly wedges I might go a little bit narrower, but not a huge amount. So short shots, less than full shots, definitely go narrower with the stance, and I'd keep the ball position pretty centered for those as well. So hopefully that answers your question on ball position, where it should be, and how it can influence ball flight and change impact using the Trackman test. And it's the second time I've tried to try this out in my own game, and it's proved pretty similar in results. I think when I had the ball forward last time, the height might have increased a bit, but there is a bit of variability on how I'm striking the ball on that particular day. So bear with me a little bit on that. Again, I'm not a robot. So hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope that helps you understand how moving that ball position around will change the direction of your shots. Bear in mind, I didn't get much curvature with these shots. It was a pull, straight, and a push. So if you're trying to shape it around the tree, moving the ball position around will help the initial start line change, but it won't necessarily change the curvature in the shot too much. Hopefully you can join me on my journey and subscribe. Click my logo down in the corner. Love to have you on board, and also post any questions or requests you have in the box below. Thanks for watching, and see you again here soon.